Hello, Derek here from Tipperary Volunteer Centre. I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk about the effect COVID-19 is having on volunteering. Volunteering has and will always be based on an emotional connection to an activity or cause. That connection manifests itself in the way we feel when volunteering. It could be the joy we get being part of a team, the achievement felt when working with others, or the pure emotion of seeing a service user flourish. Unfortunately, that human contact on which we thrive is the very mechanism that this cunning virus is using to spread itself in our communities. Social distancing and staying at home are the main tools we have at our disposal to insist against the fight against the virus. But as volunteers, this is where we struggle. We are social people. We enjoy social interaction, but we need to start looking at things differently. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed the fundamentals of volunteering over the past 2 months, but what hasn't changed is people's willingness to volunteer. Just 16 weeks into the year, the number of new volunteer registrations with Tipperary Volunteer Centre is on a par with the number registered over the whole of 2019. But the coronavirus has dictated a change in the landscape of volunteering and has had a knock-on effect on the approach we have had to adopt as the organisation funded by the Department of Rural and Community Development to strengthen and support volunteering across Tipperary. The traditional avenues used by the placement and referral portion of the Volunteer Centre, overseen by Sarah and Tina, has all but disappeared. Charity shops, youth clubs, daycare centres, fundraising, sporting, befriending and many other volunteer opportunities are no longer available. Much needed volunteer involving services have had to close their doors to protect those they serve, with the result of these closures being felt across every community in the county. But we're not at a crisis point. We're just at that inflection point where we need to adapt to a new short-term norm. With that in mind, and as the organisation funded to facilitate formal volunteering in Tipperary, what I'm about to say may seem strange. The COVID-19 emergency has resulted in a sharp decline in structured volunteering opportunities, not only across Tipperary but nationally. Couple that with a dramatic increase in people registering to volunteer, and we're at the point where supply of those wishing to help far exceeds the number of opportunities to get involved. As with every other county in the country, Tipperary has a dedicated COVID response forum, also known as the Community Call. Tipperary Volunteer Centre is an active member of that group. Most formal volunteering opportunities regarding the coronavirus are covered and overseen in the county by the Response Forum. The 72 local GAA clubs across the county are registered with the forum and facilitate a variety of services, from prescription collection to delivering and shopping. Alone operate a support line telephone service for the elderly, while volunteer emergency services like the Red Cross, Order Moda and Civil Defence are backing up the regular ambulance service and transporting those receiving cancer treatments to their appointments. So, with very little formal opportunities to volunteer, here is what I would suggest. Look for informal volunteer opportunities. There are a myriad of things you can do to make a difference in an individual capacity. Check out your local newspaper or local radio station for inspiration and novel ways to get involved from the comfort of your own home. The easiest and most effective way to volunteer at the moment is to think of yourself as the volunteer involving organisation and volunteer your time to yourself by staying at home. Use your time at home to call family and friends. Don't underestimate the power of a listening ear. Good communication has an uncanny ability of working both ways. Our colleagues in Volunteer Ireland are currently running a virtual volunteering initiative, which is a lot of great volunteering from home ideas. A short 10-minute video from Stuart Garland, while geared mainly towards organisations, is well worth a watch for those looking for unconventional ways of volunteering in these strange times. If you are fit and healthy and not in an at-risk group, you could assist the vulnerable you know on a first-name terms in your area by collecting some shopping, the daily newspaper, or other items they may require. If this is something that interests you, please follow the latest guidelines of the HSE, which can be found on their website. Remember though, that limiting our time out and about is the key factor in curbing the spread of the virus. So, if you have registered with Tipperary Volunteer Centre and you feel that your volunteer journey is not progressing, you can rest assured that it is no means a reflection on you or on Sarah or Tina's commitment to you. It is just the current environment we find ourselves in. Please stay safe, mind yourself, and if my experience over the past 10 years have taught me anything, it has been that our greatest strength lies in the resilience of every community in the county. That resilience, blatantly evident today in parishes from Carrick-on-Shore to Laura and Ballyporeen to Rossgrey. If we follow the advice from government and the HSE, we will come through the shortest period of time and save many lives. So please wash your hands, practice social distancing and stay safe. If you're worried about anyone in your area and you think they may need assistance at this time, please call the Tipperary COVID helpline on 076 106 5000. The line is staffed 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Thank you.